So Phaedra done came all the way over to Nutbush or wherever the hell Portia lives, and she over there and done cut up a Hearshaw Winnie and cut it up in 6 pieces and cooked it in a pan with butter, and then magically she all of a sudden done put some rice in the microwave for 90 minutes. But the magic of TB, the meal was already done. Portia, child, please. I wouldn't eat that shit for two. You know all this shit was made in the microwave. I can't what Portia thought. All right, so they over there basically just talking about the whole thing, and they're talking about because Nene invited them all to the whole therapy session that she ruined, but we'll talk about that later on. And they're all like, I don't know what Phaedra pretty much said, I'm too fragile right now and I don't want to kill nobody, and so I'm not going. I don't need to go. I don't really feel like I need to. These girls aren't my friends. I don't really feel like I need to explain a damn thing to them. What it is what it is, and boom, bam, thank you very much. So, ma'am, thank you much. And so she's just like, all right, deuces. So Phaedra's not going. She's out. But Phaedra's just going, on Cynthia again. She said she really wouldn't care if they don't speak to each other no more. They really weren't friends like that anyway to begin with. She also mentioned that she know things on both Peter and Cynthia. That Peter's not the only one that's been, slipping out between the sheets like the Isley brothers. Apparently, Cynthia Baba had been doing some. Not Cynthia, not Sin. And Phaedra was like, I really appreciate Cynthia, and I feel like she's needed. My mom orders from the plus size section, which she models for. I was like, shade, that was a good one, Phaedra. Yes. So Candy and Todd is talking. Candy's going on and on about her granddaddy's legacy, and who he was. I forgot exactly what he did or what kind of legacy he left. But good for him. Good for the family, the Burses. And Todd just pretty much sitting there acting like he give a damn. But of course he don't. And he started saying Candy, cold at night. It was like, okay, he would be really proud of his granddaughter who has a sex toy line and a sex show and all that. Just being shady, this big head child. And so they was talking, and basically Todd feels like they should just go ahead and have sex, and they'll pretty much end the issue or whatever, which I don't think it will. And so they decided to get onto the whole Dr. Sherry thing. Todd feels like the whole Dr. Sherry therapy moment last week was a waste of time. Of course he does. And Candy was like, well, look, we need to at least work on their homework. So they decided to work on the homework Dr. Sherry gave them, which was to write down the pros and cons of their relationship. And so some pros, he said, no, some cons, he said that she don't like to deal with things. And some pros, Candy was like, what's the pros of like being with me or in this relationship? And he honestly really didn't have anything to say. Nothing to say. And he just get up and walk off. And she was like, I know what another con would be. His mother. Her mother. Yeah, that's right. His Mama Joyce likes who? No one. Just, I don't know what's going on with Candy and Todd. Todd is just so uninterested at this point. He keeps saying she don't like to talk about this, she don't like to talk about that, whatever it is. Well, Candy talk about it with him before he leaves. Like, something is really, like, hurting. Like, something's going on with Todd. Y'all think he's cheating? That's a tough pill to swallow. Cheating already 6 months in. Damn. Therapy already? That's deep. So Claudia goes over to talk to Gary with the T. He is a co-host on the Ricky Smiley Show. And they're real good friends. And basically Claudia wants to start this whole stand-up comedy career. And everybody's looking at her a little sideways. But I'm never going to say somebody can't do something. Shit. Do what you want to do what you feel, do what you love, try anything, enjoy life. But stand-up comedy, I don't know. And basically Gary was like, look, because nobody really wants to see women be sexual and raunchy and all that. But are we really still like that? I mean, haven't like people like Joan Rivers and like so many women like Whoopi and so many stand-up comedians like Cheryl Underwood, Lunell, like who all talk about sex and be just as aggressive and raunchy and open as men do. Haven't we like passed that? Why is that an issue? But apparently it's an issue for radio. It's usually on radio the women is the one that try to get the men back on track and all that. Whatever. I don't really listen to radio. And so he's pretty much was like, yeah, okay, girl, try it, but don't try it. Pretty much. He was being nice about it. Um, Nene goes over to talk to Phaedra with the worst wig I've ever seen in my childhood, teenager years, and now my young adult life. Unbelievable. 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 It was ridiculous. It was atrocious. It was crazy. I don't know what the hell. I don't know why anybody would purchase that. It was damaging to the eyesight. It was crazy. Anyway, speaking of Lunel, Claudia meets with Lunel, the comedian. She's everything. She's so funny. They basically meet at a bar. She's a drunk. I love it. And they chilling, and she basically shows her notes that she wants to do be a stand-up comedian. And I like Lunel because she kept it real. She was like, look, Claudia asked her what she think about the show. She was like, I like it, but I don't love it. I mean, whatever. And so they sit around talking, and she give her little pointers and was like, look, just go for it and do you. So, good job for encouragement. Ugh. Candy comes over and talk to Phaedra, and it's very weird. Y'all know Candy been crying since she been on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, which is about maybe 4 or 5 seasons. And she starts crying. She was like, I just don't know why you talking to Nene about me. We supposed to be friends. Why you talking to Nene about me? We are friends, Phaedra. And Phaedra's just sitting there with the stone face. And Candy was like, you know what? You could have reached out to me as well. I had my own shit going on. You could have reached out to me. I'm your sister. You are my sister, my strength, and my pride. Y'all remember that song from what movie? Type it below. What's the artist names? And so it was just crazy. I was just like, wow. She started crying, and Phaedra was just like, you know what? I had my own problems. You might have had your own problems, and I could have reached out to you, but what your problems was basically because of business. You still a millionaire at the end of the day. I don't have a shortage on business either. My business is doing well. What I have a shortage on is real true friends. You were supposed to have been there for me. She said that in her confessional. She didn't say that to Candy. And so they started getting on Cynthia. She dried up her tears, and Candy gave her some pretty good advice. She was like, look, Nene will turn her back on you in a minute. The minute you piss Nene off, she gonna bring up all that shit she did for you and throw it back up in your face. Last season, she didn't even know your ass. I mean, she knew you, but she was, getting on you about something, and you sat there like a word, and like a worm, and didn't say a damn word. And Phaedra was like, I have to believe that people can change and do all that. Phaedra, please don't. I deep, 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 deep. It's just annoying and quite frustrating, I believe. And Phaedra was like, if Cynthia, God rest her soul, if something happened to Cynthia, she would reject her damn body. I was like, wow, Phaedra. She was like, she really don't give a damn if she ever speaks to Cynthia again. But they were never really friends like that. But I guess the way that Cynthia came for her, and it was just so left field, and it's just like, who's this new Cynthia? Who's this new Cynthia? Who is she? Who is she? The new Cynthia don't bother me. Yeah, you gotta stand up for yourself, honestly. But the whole Phaedra thing was messy, and she could have handled that totally differently. And Cynthia need to learn how to talk to people. She do that, but her sticking up for herself and all that, she should have been doing that. It don't bother me. Whatever. Um. So okay, let's just get straight to the therapy session. Nene arrives first. She talks to Dr. Jeff, and he's just like, "Look, Ma, I'm not gonna treat you any differently than anybody else. You're not better than anybody else just because you set this shit up, okay? Um, I'm gonna hold you to the same accountability as everybody else." And so all the girls start to come in. Who came first? I think it was Portia, after Nene, then Candy, and then the hashtag Pretty Gang came walking in like bad bitches. And Nene pretty much had to talk first, of course. She has to let everybody know what she's done and her accomplishments, and let them know that Nene, is doing a good deed. So she sits and talks to them, and she starts off the conversation pretty much like, this is what it is, and yada yada, whatever the hell she said. And Kenya pretty much is rolling her eyes at everything Nene say. Dr. Jeff notices, and her and Kenya start. And Nene was like, look, bitch, we pretty much were never damn friends or anything like that. Like, get over yourself. We're not friends. And that's just what it is. Kenya was like, well, I tried to be cool with you, and you did this to me, you did that to me. Nene wasn't open to hear it at all. We all know Kenya do shit, of course, but at the end of the day, you have to be able to sit down and have a conversation with somebody, especially when it comes to therapy. You can't be so much in your feelings that you can't get your shit out in a mature, adult, professional, um, somewhat positive way, you know? And, Kenya may be full of shit, but she knows how to do that. She knows how to switch it up. She's very smart. She knows how to click on and click off. All right, so they get on Cynthia, and Cynthia was like, "Well, you know why I don't fuck with you. It's pretty much a number of reasons. It started with the whole Kenya event and how you acted when I had to beg you to come and you showed out, saying it's amazing how many real friends I have before you talked at the whole charity event. Um, and also how you talked to my husband right then, and also how you called my husband a bitch." And she was like, that was the same night. Nene was like, no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't, Cynthia. Get your shit together. It wasn't the same night. One thing that I do agree with what Nene said is that I don't really feel like Kenya and Nene was ever friends. To be completely honest with you, I don't. I thought they was always cool, but once they kind of learned each other, it was kind of like, But Nene do have the tendency to rub people the wrong way. She got a lot of mouth, and she's entitled, and she is the only housewife from the original season one, and she will gladly let you know that. And anything else that she has coming on, she's on Broadway, she's rich. When some niggas get money, it goes straight to their head, and it's a wrap. And Claudia starts to talk to Nene about her issues with Nene, and she pretty much just shunned Claudia. It was like, girl, you trying to be relevant. You ain't nothing. You ain't nobody. Get on, girl. Get on, girl. I was like, damn, Nene. Nene is quite harsh. Like, wow. Okay. So, what happened after that? Nene was like, I'm so glad that the mean girl finally got her voice. And Cynthia was just like, really? Nene just kept saying all kind of smart stuff. And Nene and Dr. Jeff had to let Nene know being sarcastic and being an ass or whatever while you're in therapy, that's not going to work. And, I'm not just here for you. Nene like, look, Dr. Jeff, I don't want you to just be here for me. Okay? Worry about yourself. I don't want you to just be here for me. All right? Talk to them. She was just being real nasty, real snobbish, all that. Quite sarcastic. So then Candy starts to talk. And Candy was like, Nene, I don't really feel like, wait, Nene, I don't really feel like he could come for you. I don't feel like nobody comes for you. I feel like you come for everybody. Because remember when I first started on the season, you was mean to me. Remember? You was mean to me. Nene just looking at him. Okay. And so Nene was all, and Candy also brought up the whole thing about, you also said on Watch What Happens Live that your quote unquote best friend needs to leave, which was Cynthia. Like, is that something that you would say to your friend? Like, at the end of the day, whether you have an issue with somebody, you don't throw them other than the bus like the way that you did Cynthia. Which is true. Cynthia didn't start saying shit about Nene until Nene started saying shit about her. But also, it's probably because um, Cynthia probably still wanted a friendship with Nene, and also there seems to be a little bit of fear there in Cynthia for a while that she was kind of scared of Nene. And so it's probably a bunch of different reasons. Probably people in Cynthia ear, girl, I know you're gonna sit there and let that horse talk to your husband like that. It was just a whole bunch of mess. But anyway, after Candy spoke, Nene wasn't trying to hear it. She got her ass up and dipped. And Dr. Jeff following behind her, she was like, you need to worry about losing your license. Really? After you done brought these people here? Really? And Cynthia said the best line of the night, you can't talk to somebody. Something like, you can't talk to somebody who's never wrong. You can't talk to somebody who's not willing to hear all sides of the events. All sides of everything. Nene, you're part of the problem. Point blank in the period. You're most of the problem. You and your hair. Deal with it. I'm Mr. Chalaki. Mr. Chalaki on Google Plus. Follow me at It's King's World on Twitter. Chase King was here on Facebook. All that good stuff. Like, comment, share. Great. Love it. Hi, sunset.